Hello and welcome everybody to Conquer the Cave. Your host Doey here with a special guest caster today. It's none other than Ninja Ferret. We've seen him on the show before as a player. You're able to win a week and, I would say made a good representation of yourself. You've won multiple store showdowns. You were top 16 in the PQ in Pasadena back, like a month ago now or something like that. And when I complain about the person that beat me at 2 store showdowns in a row, this is the guy. So thanks for hanging out and casting with me as Charmer is indisposed. And welcome. How's it been going lately? What have you been playing lately? I know we play at locals every week, but we have go ahead.
We just played right on Thursday, right? But I actually just came back from playing another local, trying my Obi-Wan deck. Won that one, so it went pretty well. But
nice. Okay.
So can't complain there. But excited to be here. I'll try my best to fill Charmer's shoes here, and I'm excited to see what game we got coming up.
Well, I figured I would find someone that basically had the same skin tone, hair, and beard, to start off with, and then just kind of go from there. So we've almost like cloned him a little bit, That's the idea here. But I'm sure you'll do great.
Yeah, you could probably put his face on my face, and it probably works out pretty well with all the AI tools we got now.
We've got a Charmer and Carbonite graphic. I think I can bring that up right now. Yeah, see that?
There you go. There you go.
When I had to do it myself, we put up the Charmer and Carbonite graphic, so it's almost like that. But it's much better to have someone actually casting with me. So again, I appreciate you jumping in and doing this on short notice. And we've got a really cool matchup today. We have none other than Notyalc, who was able to take down Red Husky Everett last week, taking on Aces this time around. Aces has been in the Ice Cave Radio Discord for a long, long time. Great contributor to the conversation there, and a solid player as well. So I'm very curious to see what he's got in store for us today. And with that, let's just jump in and take a look at the deck list. So here we go. This is Notyalc's Big Ramp Bossk deck. All right, so we've got some interesting stuff today right off the bat. Now, Green Bossk is nothing new. Bossk does ramp well. Obviously, it's one of the better users of the bounty mechanic, kind of by virtue of that's what the leader wants to do. But does anything jump out at you right off the bat with this list?
Well, the first thing is Bossk seemed to be kind of moving towards ECL, so this one is interesting being the 30 health base. So
right.
Maybe a little scared of the 25 health, and looks like he's adjusted the list to kind of account for that. So let's see.
I think it's one of those things where it seems like it's very focusing on ramping specifically, where some of the other Bossk green decks, sure, they can ramp, but they feel a little bit mid-rangey, and this one feels more like it's just trying to get to the top end and live, right? So I guess that 5 extra HP is nice. That said, I'm kind of with you. I like ECL. Then again, if I look at this list, what are you really going to be ECLing other than super laser tech, right? I mean, the way the list is built, there's not a lot in that sort of 4 to 6 resource cost range that you really like to use ECL on. So I get the non-inclusion, but we'll have to see how it all works out for them. On the other side of things, we have our challenger, Aces, playing a Quinlan Loss is the name of the deck, but it's Tarkintown Quinlan. We've seen a lot of this. You've been playing a lot of Quinlan Voss lately. Does this differ too much from what you've been rocking? Now you took top 16 at the ProQuest with Quinlan, right? That's what you were at Quinlan.
No, I was a Quinlan.
Yeah.
It's at the PQ.
Yeah.
This is pretty similar. I like the inclusion of the Grogu. I think he's really good. We'll see how much work he does in this matchup, but in the meta, I think he's pretty good overall. But yeah, this is pretty standard. The 2 techs, that's something that's a little bit interesting. And the records in the sideboard, I think that's new.
Yeah, records in the sideboard. I like records in the main board if I'm going to run them, but I guess it's maybe kind of just some unit removal. We'll have to see. I realized I said ProQuest, which my brain snapped back to Flesh and Blood for a moment there too, because that's what their bigger ones are called. But no, this is a planetary qualifier. That's what we're talking about.
There you go.
Yep. So we'll have to see how these decks run into each other. I feel like it's one of those things where Bossk could kind of get run over if Quinlan gets a fast start, because it can be a very quick aggressive list. That said, if it gets a late game, I think Bossk is just going to take it, right? You just can't stand up. It doesn't matter what deck you're playing. You just can't stand up to a bunch of crate dragons, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see.
Right, unless it's really close. A few health left to go. Maybe a surprise strike comes in, but if it's just too much, then Bossk will take it. But we'll have to see what happens.
That's right. I just noticed too, disabling Fang Fighter in the sideboard too. So a little bit of upgrade removal, which could come in handy against that Bossk deck. But I think it's time to get into the games. You ready to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So here we go. Game number 1. Again, I'm tracking life manually, so I will do my best. What bounty are you most afraid of if you're aces going into this one?
What was that was the bounty that they can bring out a 3-drop, right? I think that's the big one in Bossk Green right now.
Yeah, it's the oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting what it's called too.
I think it's Bounty Hunter's Quarry, is that right?
Yes, yeah, Bounty Hunter's Quarry, that's right. Because Price on Your Head is the one that produces a resource, and Deathmark is a card draw. So yeah, Bounty Hunter's Quarry is the one that lets you search and then play a 3-cost. Which I like. The thing is,
can't go wrong with any of them.
I feel like bounties are kind of underplayed. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think in Bossk, right, you can do the double
Sure.
claim, but I think, and I think there's place for bounties in other decks, right? Oh, here we go.
I think so. So the Leet comes out, shield token for aces there. And, one of the other things to think about is Tarkintown usage, right? Like, oh, is that just an initiative claim from Notyalc? Woo.
Yeah, looks like it. Guess the second hand, it wasn't no two drop, maybe?
I guess not. That's kind of rough. I kind of want to bring up the list right in front of me just to see what the ratios are. I mean, you'd have to imagine there's plenty of early drops. But then again, I mean, if you're the type of deck that's going to be ramping anyway, you might not be too concerned about missing that first drop.
Mm-hmm.
But not even have a bounty to play on something is a little bit rough. Okay, so we got the cell block guard out there at least. That's something.
Okay, yeah. The bounty would have been great because then it could ping the shield off.
Yeah, exactly. That is kind of the dream scenario for Bossk turn 1, is not necessarily playing that unit, but just doing exactly what you said. It's just getting the bounty on the enemy unit. Whoa, we got a blaster right off the bat on Leet. Check that out.
Okay, Leet is with the blaster.
No kidding. Yeah, blaster smuggled out immediately. That's the earliest blaster I think I've ever seen smuggled out. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get it earlier than that.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of the thing that you save a lot of times for a little bit later in the game. Now, where it's not Bossk Blue, I suppose you're not super worried about, removal coming in here. You don't have to worry about, Power of the Dark Side or anything like that. But it does seem a little bit risky to just kind of put your 2 health, unit out there. And there's that Bounty Hunter's Quarry.
Bounty Hunter's Quarry.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Aces already has some bounties ready. Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
Check that out. That is
some pre-coordination here.
No kidding. Yeah, I mean, probably just let him know he's playing Bossk or something like that. Ace is just so on top of things here. All right, Kira is going to be the next play. So what's a hand of Notyalc? What's it going to be? All right, so we got a Force Choke, we got a Vader, Super Laser Tech, and the Reinforcement Walker. What would you pick here?
I would probably pick the Super Laser Tech, but Force Choke's a good choice too.
Yeah, I mean, the Force Choke just kills the Leet and then pops the bounty.
Or could just kill the Kira if you really wanted to play a Super Laser Tech next turn.
That is true.
Yeah. I guess we don't know which one they called there.
I know, fatal flaw on my part, not being able to do that. But we'll just see what is not played. Okay, so that makes me think it was a Force Choke.
It's probably the Force Choke.
Yeah, that
makes sense. Fair, I think.
All right. So meanwhile, the attack comes in for 4 damage on the base of Notyalc. There we go. And the fact that Leet even got to hit another time with that blaster is kind of amazing to me. Yeah, Bossk ability for the ping.
Yeah, Quinlan took initiative.
Yep. And that's pretty big, too, because that means another, minimum 4 swing to the base, or minimum 3 swing if you swing with Kira. Now, maybe you want to... I mean, you don't really want to kill that Super Laser Tech until you absolutely have to, right? So I think if you're Quinlan, you just keep going to base, right?
Yeah, I think you just to do another 4 damage to base here before Super Laser Tech finishes off Leet here.
Yep. Unless you had some sort of way to protect Leet, but I'm trying to think of what that might be in the Quinlan. Like, would you spare the target or something like that? That's a lot of resources to spend, but it is annoying to deal with. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I think you just hit base here and accept what happens next.
Yep, I would say so. The Bounty Hunter's Quarry
out here, right?
What's that?
Bossk can come out here and he can double claim this if he wants.
I think so, yeah. Oh, playing the Punishing one too. Yeah. I mean, like, Punishing One was always the name of Dengar's ship, but I feel like it's extra, real in this game where you can actually use it to punish, right? Where now when that bounty gets claimed, it's going to be extra good for Bossk. Providing there's not a way to get rid of the super laser tech right now, that is.
I mean, Bossk can just ping here and kill the L337 anyway.
Oh, did he
Ooh,
waylay
he's
his...
waylaying. Yeah,
Is he
he's waylaying his
his
own.
lead? Oh, I like it. Yeah, the bounty
Yeah,
just
see,
gets sent to trash then. Elegant.
that's
What
a
do you...
big move. Big move.
It is a big move. It's
Yeah,
a big investment too to spend it on something like that, but it does leave the Bossk player in a little bit of a rough spot, doesn't it?
yeah, because now punishing one's not gonna be able to, get his attack in, and Bossk's not gonna get the claim or even the double claim.
Yeah. I like it. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I guess you just run the super laser tech into Kira there, back up to 3 resources. Do you even... I haven't really played a lot of Bossk. So I don't know off the top of my head as we see a spark of rebellion coming
Spark.
down. Okay, what do you pick here? The Force Choke? Yeah, I think that's a good choice too. Yeah. That makes me wonder if you pick something else with Kira actually.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, because I would think you would maybe pick Vader there if
Right.
yeah,
Which makes me
very
think
interesting.
maybe Vader was the pick for Kira then. But
Yeah,
that's like a lot of faith. Your
or the
Kira's going to live
blocker.
a long time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah, especially with him holding the force choke the whole time. But okay.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is with Kira, do you need to pick? You don't need to pick a card that's in your hand though. You get to look at their hand and then pick a card, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a card in their hand. You can just like predict something. I think too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But in game one, when you haven't seen too much of their deck, it's kind of tough to do that.
It'd be a risk for sure.
Quinlan the base here.
Yeah, why not? And that's going to take us up to what 14 on base. Yeah. Believe so if I can count, and I usually can. I mean, you know me, we've played a lot of games against each other. My counting skills are up and down, aren't they?
Yeah. Inconsistent at best.
I can't, you're not lying. I think one of the nice things for Aces too that he's got going is he hasn't had to use Tarkintown yet, which is pretty great when you think about some of those bigger units on the Bossk side coming out soon, such as that Vader.
Oh.
Yep.
So she didn't. Kira didn't call Vader either. Then, so she must have called the force choke.
I guess, yeah. I mean, so just getting rid of the Force Choke, saying, you know what, I know you're going to pay the extra for it anyway, I suppose, or else thinking Kira's going to die soon, but that is interesting. I agree. I think it must have been the Force Choke then. We can do a lot of things casting these VODs, but having the player audio and us at the same time is rough because like the player audio quality is just all over the place with these VODs, and then it's like if you get the mixing slightly wrong, then you can't hear what anyone's saying, and yeah.
I'm gonna make our best guess here, and Vader goes into Kira.
Man, that's so good though too. Playing that Vader and getting out the Phase 3 Dark Trooper, that 3/3 taunt is going to be just annoying to get through, and this is kind of the swing turn for Bossk, right? This is Bossk starting to put down a board that Aces is going to have a little bit of a tough time overcoming.
And this turns off the coordinate for Plo Koon if he had that in his hand.
Yeah, that's a great point too. I mean, that is a threat you always have to worry about with Quinlan. But not this time around. Only be hitting for 3 without that coordinate.
I guess that would still be enough to get rid of the Sentinel if he wants to go that direction.
It'd be something. I suppose in that case you really don't need the difference between 3 and 6, I suppose. But yeah, not having coordinate just makes you feel bad. You just feel lonely, Yeah. Well, K2SO is the play here. And again, that's going to be a little bit of damage, maybe a little bit of discard, depending on the hand size of Notyalc at the moment. There's a ping from Quinlan for a little bit of damage on the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. And what's the response going to be here?
Turns on the Tarkintown from Quinlan's side, too.
Yeah, very true. I wonder, too, if if you could find a way to just get like one more damage on that Vader, you could even Tarkintown that then. Yeah,
that's true.
That would be nice.
Much more value there if you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, the other, maybe there's a way. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's got in his hand. He's only got 2 resources to work with, though, so I think that Vader's going to live another turn. Bossk runs into Quinlan, the brave bounty hunter. Fighting a Jedi like that. I don't know if he's too worried about it. I'm not sure. Oh, is that Tarkintown? Yeah, Tarkintown on the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. Okay.
Yeah, he had to, or Quinlan would die there with that attack.
Yeah, I think so. And you want to be able to maybe just go in and trade with Bossk too. That's going to be 3 damage from Punishing One on the base of Aces. The base of Ace.
Right strike.
Surprise Strike. Wow. Okay.
6 here into base. Yep, into base. We've got
No
20.
kidding. Yeah. Okay, so he's just going for it. So that's the deck has a lot of reach, but this is where that 20 health base, I think, or 30 health base rather, comes in handy for Notyalc, where if you were on ECL, you'd be sweating right now because you know that there's going to be at least 3 from K2SO, so you effectively have 2 health left on base. Well, he's got 10 now, so a little bit better position, but still no taunt to speak of, or taunt. Man, I'm switching to every other card game today. Now we're in Hearthstone speak. No, but no Sentinel to get in the way of these attacks here, unless Notyalc has something to deal with at least one of them here. Oh, the OB though.
There you go. There you go.
Yep, and that should kill everything. I believe
7 damage coming out.
Should do it with the damage that was on Quinlan already. Yeah, there goes K2SO. There's 3 more damage on the base of Notyalc. I mean, it's still 23 damage to 3. Like, Notyalc is not in a great spot.
Yeah, Aces has plenty of time here, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Bossk had too much healing in his deck. I think it might have just been the walkers.
Ooh, I agree. I think it was the reinforcement walkers. I didn't notice anything else off the top of my head, but that Han Solo is a nice play here from Ace. Just
huge.
being able to take out the Vader, taking no damage back. And, that's the kind of thing where if it's not dealt with, that's just going to be game, right?
Yeah, Bossk might need a claim here.
Yeah. Because you've got, obviously you don't have enough damage right on the Han Solo card, but we know there's surprise strikes. We know there's blasters in this deck. There are ways that Aces can turn that Han Solo swing next turn into lethal.
Yeah, unless he has a Sentinel, which he's attacking, so maybe he does.
Maybe. Yeah, runs Bossk into him. So 4 damage on Han Solo. And another 3 comes in from Punishing One. Takes Ace up to 6.
Oh, and it's just a pass.
Oh, wow. Huh. Okay. Well,
I guess making Aces have it. If he has it, he has it.
There it is. Yep, and he does. He has it. There's a blaster.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot of ways you could get over the finish line, and that's going to be game 1 going to our challenger Aces. Here we are back again with game number 2 between Aces and Notyalc. Doa and Ninja Ferret here, our wonderful guest caster for the episode. Thanks again for joining us. And we saw Aces in Quinlan Tarkintown take down Bossk. I don't want to say handily, but it is one of those games where the Bossk didn't have a play in turn number 1, didn't have an early bounty to put down. The one bounty that looked like it might have gotten Notyalc back in the game got waylaid away basically by a pretty heads-up play by Aces to bounce his own lead back to hand. Probably resourced it later too. So, yeah, I think that was a rough game for Bossk. I feel like this series could be a lot more even than game 1 kind of gave us the indicator of. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe after the sideboard here, maybe we'll make the matchup a bit more even. And really, just that waylay on the L337 was, I think, the big change, the big swing in this past game. So we'll see if Bossk can get a couple bounties off this time.
Yeah, that was kind of the turn or the play really that kind of changed the game. And we were looking at the sideboarding. Aces was kind enough to show the sideboarding on their side of the camera. Through it, I would imagine they turned off their feed during that part of it. But it looked like they put in 2 breaking in and then 2 disabling Fang fighters is what came in. And then what was it? It was a Grogu, a Force Throw, a couple things like that came out.
Yeah, and then the 2 bigger Millennium Falcons came out.
Oh, right. Yeah, the 2 smuggle ones. Yep. So what do you think about that? What do you think about sideboarding? Ooh, and I, as an old school Sabine Cunning player, I love the turn 1 Spark of Rebellion. What do we got? Did we just get rid of the bounty? I mean, there's 2 ramp things there. He's trying to put a lot of glare on it so he can't see.
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know what you get rid of.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't mind that actually because there's multiple ramp options in there. So you're like, all right, well, you're probably going to get a resource ahead at some point in the early game anyway. So might as well remove the unit. This basically forces him to play resupply, because you're not going to have a unit to really capitalize. And there is a resupply on the bounty.
Yeah, and the A-wing for Quinlan there. Space.
That's right.
Yeah, but I agree. I think Bossk has too much ramp, so you really can't get rid of all the ramp options. You have to get rid of his units that he can ramp into.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. or at least some of those units that can be annoying. Like, especially if Aces is thinking, well, I'm going to be playing this A-Wing, so the last thing I want is a punishing one in space. I don't want to have to deal with a 3/4 right now. So I think Ace is definitely making the right call there.
Yeah, especially since it looked like he was pretty set on playing that A-Wing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so already up to 5 resources is Notyalc. He's going to put the price on your head onto the A-Wing. Wow, Ace is right away ready with his own bounty.
Yeah, I love that he just has it on the side, ready to go.
I'm impressed. I think Aces is like the most prepared player we've ever had on Conquer the Cave, just in terms of like, oh yeah, you need that bounty. I got that bounty. Yeah, mercenary gunship. All right, interesting, with a timely intervention as well. Wow. Okay, and that's going to pop that bounty, and that's going to send him to 6 resources right now. That's kind of crazy, actually. I like it. Kira. Okay, so trying to ensure that whatever he wants to play that next turn is not going to. Oh, it's just that
one card in hand.
All right. Well, when you play a lot of bounties, you get a card taken out. You don't end up with a big hand. So yeah, I guess it is just that phase 3 Dark Trooper. So that's maybe a little bit of a sigh of relief for Aces, knowing that if there's anything big coming, it's going to have to get top decked.
Brings Bossk out.
Yep. There is Bossk, and there is... it looks like Vader was the choice for Kira. Yep.
Oh, okay.
He's even... What is going on here? He's even got like every... Does he just have like a machine behind him that has his entire collection sorted out where he just like speaks the name of the card and it just finds it for him and gives it to him? That is amazing.
Yeah, that or maybe a few assistants or something.
Maybe, yeah. Aces and his staff behind the scenes here, making sure he's got all the cards he needs for this. So Darth Vader was the choice for Kira.
Yeah, and Bossk went into base here, and he passed.
Yep, that is correct. Do you ever like to just buy the mercenary gunship off your opponent? I love doing that. If they don't attack with it, yeah.
It's I don't know if it's always the best play, but it's usually the funniest play.
Yeah, I mean, I have like won multiple games because of it, because it just throws your opponent off so much, because not only do they never expect you to do it, but suddenly like they've got a ready 3/2 in space coming at them. And speaking of things coming at them, there's the blaster coming at Notyalc, courtesy of Kira. And it's going to be a little bit of damage there. Oh wait, no.
Oh, did
no
back re-smuggled the blaster back in?
Unsmuggled. You can't unsmuggle things. Oh wait, okay, so it's going to be a surprise strike instead.
Right.
All right, so a little bit of information given there, maybe.
Oh, into the Bossk. Okay, takes him out.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess you're not as worried about losing this Kira because, there's no guarantee that Notyalc is even going to draw into one of his Vaders,
Right.
That is going to be 7 damage on base for Aces, though, so at least Notyalc has a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, game's going a bit differently this time.
Yeah. Man, with all the Cad Bane legendaries running around now, maybe Leet is going to start to see a little bit more play. Come in and rescue something.
Yeah, I think Leet's great in this deck.
Yeah. All right, there's a phase 3 Dark Trooper. And whenever I say the base of Ace, I just have like 90s, early proto-electronic music flashbacks, but maybe that's just me. No cards in hand for Notyalc now, it looks like.
Quinlan taking out the Sentinel, looks like.
Yep. I would say so. It's looking a little bit intimidating for Notyalc, but at the same time, I mean, you've got a good amount of damage in space, and if you can get a bounty off, that's going to suddenly be a 6 damage punishing one. And whoa, was that just
at Tarkintown, the mercenary gunship?
I was going to say, yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to think about using Tarkintown to just do that last bit of damage, that last single point of damage to take out the mercenary gunship. But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, that's potentially 3, 6, 9 less damage I'm going to have to face, if you don't have anything in hand that you're going to be able to use to handle a unit in space for a little while. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think he just it was opportunistic there.
Yeah, and you kind of have to be that way with Tarkintown. I think that's a good example of people, people are good at Tarkintown now. Remember, like, for basically a set and a half, if not almost 2 sets, people were like, oh, Tarkintown is just not worth it. And then people got good. And they're like, okay, I know how to Tarkintown, but...
Yeah, Tarkintown's all over the meta now.
Yeah, it is great. A timely intervention on the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. What is going on here?
Is he going into the Kira maybe? Oh, though that would kill him, right?
It would. It's a trade, but at the same time, I guess maybe is that an indicator that Notyalc has a Vader in hand or something like that?
I don't know.
This is just
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's a on the Notyalc side, it's a lot of ramp, but oh no.
Ooh, force throw.
Oh, it's a mercenary gunship.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's another one.
Baited to the max.
Yeah.
Wanted to think there was a Vader in there, maybe.
Punishing one going to base for 3.
Yeah. 10 damage on Ace's base. Only 15 to go. I mean, if he wins this,
here,
could be the ace of base. I'm going to just stop with the ace of base stuff at this point. No, nobody knows what I'm talking about anyway. I saw the signs.
It's vaguely familiar, vaguely.
Okay. 2 damage for elite into the base here, and there's oh, check it out. All right. Going up to 8 here with a swing from Quinlan, and the K2SO hits the board as well.
It's interesting game how Bossk is winning the race right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially surprising to me because there's been a lot of ramp, but not a lot of cards, that utilize the ramp. But that punishing one has just been in space, hitting every single turn, and you know what? That's been enough so far to keep it fairly even. But I feel like things might change here. We know there's a blaster in the resources for aces as well.
Yep.
So what'll it be? I mean, he's got the Jace playmat. Maybe he's the ace of Jace.
Right.
There's a little Magic the Gathering joke for all you Magic fans out there. Bringing yet another card game into this broadcast.
So Bossk is at 7 resources now? Or is a force choke? All right.
Yeah, force choke to take out Quinlan. Does give the card drop.
Quinlan remembers to draw the card.
Yep. I think you're right, though. Yeah, it looks like 7 resources, so 5 remaining. But the thing is, we know from looking at Notyalc's list that it kind of goes up to 3s, and then there's a gap, and then the 7s start rolling. So not a ton of good stuff to play for 5, unless, and I don't think he's got a ton of cards in hand. There's a blaster with K2SO for, 6 damage more coming in? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you want to see.
Not a ton. I mean, it was inevitable, right?
Yeah, we knew it was there.
Yep. That said, only 2 damage separate the 2 players. But effectively, though, it's more like 7, because it's a 25 health base for aces.
A second blaster on L337.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now it's getting a little bit crazy here because you got to handle the units with the blasters, but one of them is going to do 3 damage back to you or make you discard a card, and the other one's got a shield. So it's not easy. It's not easy for Notyalc.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Man. All right. Well, I mean, if you are Notyalc, all you can do is just cross your fingers and pray that a crate dragon shows up and just dominates the rest of the game. But even if it does, I mean, there's already a lot of damage on board. It might be just a little bit too late.
7. Oh,
Maul?
Almost
Okay.
in space. There you go, on the ground.
All right. Yeah. Into K2SO. So you get a little bit of overwhelm done.
Oh, but Maul dies in the process there.
Right, because it's a 6 damage K2SO because of that blaster. That is rough. Damage or discard? Looks like it's damage here.
Yeah, that was 3 overwhelm.
Yep.
Going into the ace's base.
That's right, and 3 damage from the K2SO when defeated, going back towards Notyalc. 21 damage out of 30 possible on that base.
Yeah, they're neck and neck here.
No kidding. It's a close game. I mean, there's still that bursty potential for Quinlan, right? That said, we've already seen 1 surprise strike and 2 blasters, so there are still plenty of cards out there that can bring that kind of burst damage, but there are not as many as there were. Looks like a Disabling Fang Fighter just played to try to put something in the air to threaten with. That's another 4 damage.
And then one went to base, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
You think maybe you should have traded there?
I feel like the answer is probably yes. At the same time, it is your only source of damage on the board. So I think I can kind of get why he's like, all right, I just got to try to win it. Is there a daring
only
raid?
5 more in base to go.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if Notyalc runs daring raid in this deck.
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah. I don't think you do. Another K2SO. Oh, man. That's the last thing you want to see if you're not Notyalc. Unavoidable damage is the worst. So, oh, it's looking rough. All right. Wow. Going to base again.
Built to base. Wow.
I mean, just pushing for every single point. You know, and the thing is, if maybe he can ready it. Oh,
there you go. Ace has got it.
Yeah, that's that. There was a maul there, so he was trying to finish him off with some overwhelm. That was the goal, but just was not enough, and that is going to be Aces taking the series 2-0. It was a close one, but, you know, especially game number 2, but the damage, the assault from the Quinlan, just a little bit too fast and furious to handle.
Yeah, I mean, Aces just came in. Yeah, we saw with the cards even, right? He was super prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the virtual fist bump to end it. That got it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm gonna go back to us here on the main screen to break down that match, and that was one of the shorter ones. You know, I feel like we've had some longer matches in Conquer the Cave over the last month or two, but that was one of the quicker ones in recent memory. We don't get a lot of 2-0s, but you know, when it comes down to it, that Bossk is when you're ramping, you're just sometimes a little bit too slow to be able to compensate for all the damage that comes in because of it, right?
Right. I mean, but Aces was just super prepared with the waylay play in game 1. He just knew what to do, right? So he seems like he had a lot of experience in the Bossk.
Yeah. Yeah, just a really, really well-played series by Aces. Excited to see how far they can go as far as winning multiple weeks in a row, but it might be tough. I know who the next challenger is, and it's going to be a pretty awesome series. I can't reveal it just yet, but if you want to find out, you can go to the Discord. You can go to our Ice Cave Radio Discord, join, go to icecaveradio.com. There's a link for the Discord there, as well as a link to our Patreon and our merch store. You can even get shirts. It's fun, right? We need to make a Conquer the Cave shirt. I don't think we have one yet. But anyway, there's all that stuff, and we always do announcements whenever a new match is on the way, so you'll be able to see that coming soon. Any final thoughts, Ninja Ferret, before we close this one out?
No, just thank you for having me. I hopefully did a good Charmer impression here, and I'm excited to see what the next challengers we got coming up. Very exciting series here.
You did great, but if you really want to do a great Charmer impression, if you really want to kind of like take it to the next level, you have to try to say "May the Force be with you" in a battle droid voice at the end. Can you try it? Are you willing to do that?
I don't think I could pull off the robot voice. I'm not sure how he's pulling it off.
That's just mad respect. Mad respect for Charmer. I appreciate it. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again, Ninja Ferret, for stepping in and casting with me. It was a ton of fun, and we'll see everybody next time.